So back in middle school, I, naive child by the name of Joshua R. Kerr, was changing next to my gym locker, nothing out of the ordinary. Next to me, a good friend of mine at the time, Aaron, was also doing the same thing, but out of the ordinary, he just leaned over to me, and in that bit of a mix of out of context, smile, playfully banter, just leaned in there and said, "Hey, J-Dogg!" And thus, the legacy of J-Dogg Kerr begun. Dale Carnegie, in one of my favorite works of his, How to Win Friends and Influence People, once wrote, "Remember that a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language." Now, why go around doing a retrospective on the legacy of J-Dogg? It just seems like such an out-of-the-box, such a crazy, insane concept. Why would you even want to go there? Well, for the big reason, to get into that as quickly as can be, there is really no meaning to J-Dogg. When you think about it, J-Dogg is an abstract. It is not a clearly defined thing. Does it mean courage? Does it mean weakness? Does it mean intelligence? Could it represent a different part of me? Could it represent just the same part of me growing into a new state of being? I mean, what could J-Dogg be? There's so much I feel as though that the term J-Dogg has to explore, and so I've created this little mini documentary trying to explore many aspects of J-Dogg, Joshua Ryan Kerr. I have collected this list of notes here. I would be showing you this on a prime quality computer screen, but I wanted to get real personal with each and every one of you, so I'm going to show you the actual notes I took to get to the results that I'm going to be giving you. Definition of J-Dogg, given to me by the wonderful Urban Dictionary right here. Reveal that J-Dogg is someone who eats a lot of... Another interesting thing is that if you take the root, the suffix dog, and put it into Urban Dictionary, you get the native urban tongue for friend. So maybe in some kind of mixed universe, J-Dogg represents the friend who gets a lot of, you know what I mean? Joshua, I have this here because the name Joshua is actually derived from a Hebrew word which means to save. So maybe it also means to save. That was a lot of spit that just came out of my mouth. These are my notes for later. And yeah, that was my initial research. But initial research won't get you everywhere, And I'm sorry, looking like the Phantom of the Opera here, but this is just to get even realer with you. It's not like I'm too lazy to put up any extra lights or anything. That'd just be insane. But really, the thing I want to connect with you, eye to eye, face to face with, is this idea that I had. What if I created a public conscious idea of J-Dogg? And so what I did is I went around asking a bunch of people what they thought J-Dogg was, and it created a very unique segment of reality that just involved people trying to think about J-Dogg a bit more. It was a very wonderful experience to get to know, especially before the final event, which then should Yeah, I'm very humble by all of the amazing things people have to say. But now, let's add some 40s music on it, and let's laugh about it a lot. Okay, guys? Harold, if you were to describe J-Dogg in one word, what would it be?
That's hard.
Is it hard?
Interesting.
The word isn't hard.
Okay, well, like, the word is not hard,
word is
but,
not
like,
hard,
the
but
emotion of J-Dogg, if you
the
describe
emotion
that
Joshua
in one word.
Ryan Kerr.
Okay, if you were to describe J-Dogg in one word, how would you describe it?
One word.
Well, first of all, how strong do you think the correlation between J-Dogg and Joshua Ryan Kerr is? Is there, like, a line, or is it just all kind of blurry?
I mean, you're one person, so.
Would it be amazing?
Amazing.
Okay.
Anyway, are you talking about the name or you?
A god.
Probably be awesome.
Like, your interpretation of J-Dogg, okay?
Of the name J-Dogg or of you as a person?
Of whatever you conceive to be, like, the best notion of that.
Interesting, I guess.
Pretty fucking chill. So that's 3 words, but hey.
Whatever. One word.
Crazy. Redonkulous. That's 2 words.
Fascinating.
If you were to describe J-Dogg in one word, what would it be?
Godly.
You're putting me on the spot here.
J-Dogg is J-God.
Legendary. If you had to describe J-Dogg in one word, what would it be?
J-Dogg, J-Dogg, J-Dogg. It's always J-Dogg, isn't it?
That's the point. It's a quick interview.
I am not good at
This has already been running for 1:10.
J-Dogg. Someone you can't describe in one word, yet you have to.
I'm bad at being put on the spot, okay?
Someone who is so powerful in essence that they cannot be described in mere words, but only through actions of insane ability and power.
Babe, we're gonna have to censor that out in post.
Whatever.
Okay.
What is this for?
Nothing.
Oh god.
Joshua Kerr. J-Dogg. J-God. Can only be described by the singular word that goes by such as super, cadra, fraja, listic, expia, allodoshus.
Harold?
I'm looking for words. I think my brain's blank.
That is the only possible way to describe J-Dogg in something that somewhat compares to his power. Thanks for the TED Talk.
It's one concept. It's one human being, and he's looking at you right in the face right now.
And you want me to say what you mean to me in one word?
Sure. So, if you had to describe J-Dogg in one word, what would it be?
Hi.
Yay.
Epic.
Friend.
Freshman year of high school. Okay, so let's take a bit of a room tour. Actually, just one stop on this tour. And it is right here. You see this guy right here? I'm gonna center him. This guy right here, was my freshman year. Huh. Would you believe that? Freshman year. Now, okay, I know what you're thinking. What is this dog with a cape that says "Vote J-Dogg" have to do with J-Dogg? Now let me get up close and personal and tell you about what this means. So freshman year rolls around. This program that has its own little community, has its own little a group of politicians, we'll call them high school politicians. It wasn't student government, but it was like a subset of the school. And I was like, man, wouldn't it be cool to represent some freshmen around here? Because I'm totally 100% representation of all freshmen ever. Yeah, and so I was like, let's do it. And even though some falsity started to spread around, maybe a quote taken completely in context about how I hated politics or something, I don't know. But anyways, I did not win, but it was an experience. I got a lot of support from a lot of people, including a certain Aaron. Now, if you don't remember Aaron, I mentioned him in the beginning. He is the person, the man, the myth, the legend that brought us J-Dogg, the name. And coming up, I have got something that I think might be very pleasing for all of you to be able to experience. Now, actually, I was able to go and meet Aaron. We had a nice little chat about everything that's going on and about J-Dogg as a whole. I hope you guys enjoy what we had to offer.
So, Aaron, do you have any experience with nicknames in the past, you know?
Like calling other people
Or,
nicknames?
like,
being
either
called a
calling people nicknames or being called.
I think the only nickname I've ever given anybody is just you as J-Dogg. And that's the only
That's
time I've
the-
ever been creative
that's-
enough to come up with a nickname.
That was the big one right there.
That was it.
Well, I mean, like, because I've done some, like, research on nicknames, and specifically my nickname in general, you know, J-Dogg here. I looked up J-Dogg, and I got a wonderful response on Urban Dictionary as J-Dogg, someone who gets a lot of ass.
That's exactly what I had in mind when I came up with that nickname. That was definitely the first
I mean, of
thing
course,
I thought
there's the broader definition of dog, which is like the native urban tongue for friend. But when you add the J in there, you get the friend who gets the ass. And so
it's a combined effort.
it's a combined
It's
effort
really
there.
the conjunction of the two words.
So what? Do you remember the day that J-Dogg kind of became a thing?
I remember.
that?
I remember the entire running for freshman representative experience as a whole. I think. I don't think I could say that the one day I remember markedly as becoming J-Dogg.
Well, I actually kind of remember the day, and it was in middle school. We had gym together, and I remember we had lockers near each other. I was like changing back because I think we were about to leave. And you were like, "Hey,
That's
J-Dogg!"
J-Dogg.
And like I was just like,
I didn't think it went back that far.
you know,
I thought
remember
this was
because for a little
freshman year.
while I was like, I don't know why, I was really mad at that name. I was like, I don't need a nickname. I was like, why would I? And then it caught on with like a bunch of people who want to annoy me. And then I was just like, I accepted
You
it.
are the J-Dogg.
But once I got into high school, it like grew into so much more. And you'll see in the feature-length documentary.
Feature-length documentary.
Do you want to make sure that the recording's still good? Is the timer still going?
Yeah,
timer's
we're
still
going.
going.
We're going.
Wait, it's still going?
Yeah.
Okay.
One,
so-
two,
going.
2 minutes out of 5.
Okay, 2 minutes out of 5. Well, okay, let's get. We're almost done here. When you hear J-Dogg, what does that make you think of specifically?
Someone who gets a lot of ass. No, I think it just evokes a lot of memories, like just of freshman generally, because that was just a really funny time, and like developing all the friendships that I made, like for Beta and other things. How J-Dogg, yeah, and you as a character sort of grew the freshman year, and you know, that's character development. I think is the one thing that makes me really think of. It's just how you've grown over time is into the J-Dogg character.
Yeah, one of the biggest things I appreciate about like this whole retrospective I'm doing is the look back into like the beginning and the growth of J-Dogg into something like, you know, much bigger than it originally was.
J-Dogg is not one person; it's a collective.
It's a collective. Actually, some people in their responses, because I did a survey where I asked people if you can say in one word, what is J-Dogg to you? And a good amount of people said God. Like 80s, godly. It was a very
It's what you become.
decent percentage of the results. And finally, like, how do you see like the relationship between Joshua and J-Dogg evolved over time? Because you saw the character rise, but how did you see the person grow? Because that's really it. Because the nickname is just part of the being. You know what I'm saying?
I think that really it's just and I can say the same for a lot of people. It's just growing into who you've really been, and it's kind of corny. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm just being myself, but like I think that truly is the case. It's not so much. There's not so much social pressure that you sort of become something that somebody else wants you to be. You become the J-Dogg that you want to be.
Yeah.
It's not. You've gone further than just the nickname. You've created the entire universe for J-Dogg.
Thank you, Aaron. This was a wonderful
Thank you so
little
much.
exchange we got to do.
Thank you very much.
So I just got back from my amazing interview with original J-Dogg nickname creator. That was a real gosh diddly darn treat, if I'm saying anything. I feel as though I learned a lot just about history and time and the way things like work in terms of just creating a cohesive whole. And now that we got all this together, I feel as though it's time for us to get into the final verdict of the J-Dogg. Man, I forgot. Into the J-Dogg retrospective. So what is the meaning of J-Dogg? This name, this nickname that should have absolutely no meaning, it kind of grew a life of its own throughout the course of this documentary, if you didn't clearly already see. And so I've come down to a list of certain ideas that make up the course of J-Dogg Her, and I thought I'd share them with you. Number one, we have got to have a heck of a lot of. I apologize for my bit of vulgarity there. I might have had to censor that out, even though I might not censor out other things. But okay, yeah. So we have that technical term, and gonna live up to it someday. Hopefully, maybe. Second. Let's totally get off of the first subject. I don't wanna. Okay, second subject. J-Dogg is something that represents change. A lot of the things that me and Aaron talked about just kind of went back to change. There so much had happened since the beginning of J-Dogg. I had changed so much as a person. That was clear as day to see. I mean, if the me that I was back when I first got that nickname saw this video now, he'd be like, whoa, who are these people? Who are these weird people? I mean, I knew a couple of those people at the time, but that's beside the point. What is part of the point is that all of the things that happened in this video couldn't have happened without J-Dogg. All of the confidence, all of the intelligence. That's intelligence 101 right here, don't you see? And big brain, but the final thing, I feel as though that the survey really got to me, was that J-Dogg has to be someone with a lot of people to back him up. J-Dogg just couldn't have been a thing without really awesome and amazing people right here to see it through to the end. I couldn't be any prouder of what J-Dogg's become, if that doesn't sound like the most pretentious thing in the entire universe. It's just this name without meaning, this dumb nickname that was used to tease and mock me back in middle school. Something that I was just irritated with. I didn't believe I needed this name, because what value would this nickname give to me? Well, it gave me all of you watching, and I couldn't be any happier about it. And I guess that is the meaning of J-Dogg. Thanks for watching. Really quickly, like 2 seconds. Like, give me 2 seconds here. What should I do next? I have absolutely not the slightest clue. Maybe a marching band thing. Like if you couldn't tell in that ending there, like with my amazing A+ acting right there. I'm a bit tired. I'm a bit tired. I still got a bit of work to do tonight. I'll get it done. Don't you worry, my fellow Americans. But I mean, maybe international. Maybe this video will go international. But that is beside the point. Maybe marching band video. We're in the middle of marching season right now. That'd be pretty interesting. I want to keep this roll of just random concept videos going. So if I come up with something in between me and starting a marching band video, I'm really unlikely. So hopefully I'll get permission to do a marching band video. That'd be nice. If not, then maybe you'll see more Toontown. Please watch the Toontown. I love Toontown so much. Please watch it, please.